Hey guys, it's Just a Ginger, and today I have completely flipped the script. I had originally uploaded a video about my playthrough of this game, but after some consideration, I've decided the best thing to do is to create one long video detailing the challenge of this game. Without further ado, here's my corrected video version of my hardcore Nuzlocke playthrough of Pokemon Rising Ruby. I've been trying to find a game that gives me a challenge without killing my spirit. Unfortunately, by the time it killed my spirit, I was already done with the game. Luckily, my channel never dies apparently. It just takes the occasional couple months break. Rising Ruby is a take on Omega Ruby with some of that Drayano heat. I've tried to Nuzlocke other Drayano hacks, but after a couple attempts, it just takes me a while to recoup. Fortunately, I have a love for Gen 3, so even after I failed about a dozen attempts, I couldn't give up. Beginning in Little Root Town, we arrive at our first and one of our most important choices. What starter is best fit for this long journey up ahead? Now I know a lot of other hardcore Nuzlockers like to really take time and do the math to figure out which is best. I decided I'm not going to do that, so I chose Mudkip. The beginning tutorial was no match for a guy like me, that may or may not have already done this in 10 failed attempts, but Maze Trico was no match for my Mudkip. As we made our way back to Little Root Town, I had already began to plan out the first gym battle. Receiving the Pokédex and some Pokeballs, I knew I was ready. I catch all the possible new encounters I could in every route, forest, or cave. Alright, now we have the first gym to deal with. Let's dissect this fight. Roxanne leads with an Archon with insane stats, and all our Pokemon have held items as well. I send out Marshtomp as my water pulses should put it away quickly. Unfortunately, the Archon has double team, and I missed my first two water pulses. This isn't looking so good. I finally land a water pulse, bringing it to the red. Roxanne uses her super potion as I go for another water pulse, and I land it, thank goodness. Archon activates my berry as one more water pulse takes it out. Next out is Lileep. Lileep has the ability Storm Drain and a Miracle Seed to boost its grass type attacks. I obviously needed to switch, so I go with Drillbur, who takes a triple hit Bullet Seed, leaving it in the yellow even after the berry activated. My Drillbur is fast, so it's able to land a dig. Drillbur is crazy because he's able to crit the Lileep, and then survives an attack allowing it to hit another dig, killing the Lileep. 2 down, 4 to go. Finally, an easy Pokemon. Roxanne sends out an Ammonite with weak armor and a Mystic Water. I know Nidorina can take a hit, so I switch to Nidorina, taking about a 4th health from the last attack. Here's where the big brain starts to come in. I attack with Double Kick, but every kick activates its weak armor, lowering its defense, which gives it more speed. After the second kick, it was already in red health. He heals up as another Double Kick takes it to yellow. Finally, a third kick takes it out. Out comes her tank Nose Pass with a Citrus Berry and Sand Force. This is a little worrying. I'm not calculating anything, so I risk a double kick, which does maybe a 10th of its health. I gotta think of something else. I decide to Tail Whip as it goes for a Flash Cannon, paralyzing me and bringing my health to the yellow. Now I know what this thing's capable of. I know I can take another hit. As long as paralysis is on my side, my Oran Berry keeps me in the yellow. Another double kick takes a Nose Pass to the yellow as its Citrus Berry brings it back to green. I double kick it, bringing it to yellow again, but now my health is too low. I gotta switch. I send out Marshtomp, who finishes Nose Pass without any damage. 2 left. Out now is the powerhouse Tyrant with Strong Jaw. I hit a Mud Shot, lowering its speed and bringing it to the yellow. It goes for a Rock Tomb, but luckily I'm faster, so I'm able to take it out quick. Finally, I'm on to her last Pokemon, but I start playing poorly, and Anorith comes out, and I think nothing of it. That's my first mistake. I hit it with a Mud Shot, keeping it in the green. I then switch in order to save Marshtomp, but I didn't realize the Anorith had Pluck, so it heals from my not to. I switched to Nidorina to save Natu, even though I really should have just sacked Natu. I switched. Natu then goes to red, another mistake on my part. So I switched to Drillbur, who dies to a super effective Aqua Jet. I then send in Tailo, who dies as well. At this point, I'm getting worried I'm already gonna lose the run. So I switch back to Natu, hoping I'm faster, which I am. But Nightshade just barely doesn't take it out. At this point, I'm thinking I have to restart, but what I didn't take into account is the speed drop the Anorith got earlier from the Mud Shot, so switching into Marshtomp was my only option. Marshtomp finishes with another Mud Shot, getting us our first gym badge. So a deathless run is off the table, but I can still win the hardcore Nuzlocke. Landing in Dewford, we are able to get a couple more encounters. After training all my members to the level cap, I'm finally feeling a little confident about this gym. In the forest, we got a Pichu, who at first I looked off at, not thinking it was anything, but what I didn't realize is that it learns Nasty Plot, a move that boosts its special attack by 2 stages. A move like this early on has to be used. Looking at Brawly's team, it's already worrying with a Hariyama as his ace. He leads Machop as I lead Marshtomp. I hit him with the Yawn as a low sweep, does about a third of my health. After that, I switched into newly evolved Pikachu as his Marshtomp goes for a bulk up. Amazingly, we were able to set up a +6 special attack. I was hoping it would be able to sweep his entire team. My first disarming voice one-shots the Machop easily. His Meditite is out next, but from experience from past attempts, I know it just tries to set up Focus Punch. Luckily, another disarming voice is enough to take it out. Third comes a Mindfu, who flinches me with a fake out, but then goes down easy like the rest of the gym so far. Scraggy has Intimidate, but luckily that doesn't affect our special attack, so we're fine there. A regularly effective disarming voice takes it down as well. Pancham is out now and faints almost immediately. This gym is much more of a breeze than I thought it would be. Finally, the ace is out, and I'm worried. Its special defense is too high. I go for disarming voice, and it takes it to red, activating its berry. I guess its special defense wasn't high enough for +6. It went for bulk up as another disarming voice sealed the deal for the badge. This attempt was looking up from the past failed ones. After making it to the next city, I catch an Oddish. I actually saved for later, and May wants a rematch, and this fight is often looked at as tough in the original games. She leads with Swalo, as Pikachu knows it can take it out. Pikachu is a beast and survives on 1 HP while taking it out with 3 Electro Balls. Pikachu is definitely the MVP of this run so far. Next is the bulky Wailmer, so I switched to Butterfree, who takes it out after a barrage of moves. Her Grovyle comes out, but actually will take his Citrus Berry with a big bite. Playing it safe, I switch out to Staravia, who falls asleep but wakes up quick and takes it out with a wing attack. Lastly, a Wimpy Ponyta is thrown into battle as Marshtomp makes quick work of it with some Mud Bombs and Aqua Tails. Wimpy Wally wants to battle, so I rearrange my team a little bit to deal with his team. He starts with Fletchinder, so Marshtomp yawns it so we can pull another Dewford situation. I switch to Pikachu, who sets up +4 special attack, and then finishes it with an Electro Ball. Gibble's out next, who I thought would be a problem, but if we weren't blessed with our fairy move still, then we would have an issue. One and done, as I say, and then he sends out Meryl. Pikachu is doing the work for real. Another Electro Ball takes it out. Now it's Kirlia versus Pikachu, but to play it safe, I switched to Butterfree, and then tragedy struck. Butterfree went down. Rest in peace. You were weak, but a very strong team player. I switched to Nidoqueen to finish it out. Wally really was stronger than I expected. Drayano definitely wanted to give him a boost. Before the gym, I get a quick encounter of a Rosalia. Just thought I would mention this. But going into Watson, I'm worried. It's going to be a little bit of a run ender. His team is quite the powerhouse, with all his team knowing Volt Switch. It will be hard for me to take control of the battle as he's constantly switching. His Pokemon also have very diverse movesets, meaning he will be able to almost always have some good damage on me. Thinking about how I'm going to beat him, I decide to start off with my newly evolved Marowak. He sends an Electrode, which is already an issue with Explosion. Unexpectedly, he switches to Luxio, which has been unheard of from my failed attempts. Amazingly, I was able to take out Luxio with a Bone Meringue. Next out is Flaffy, who is a menace, but perfectly another Bone Meringue takes it out. Now his Ace Manectric is out, and he uses Electric Terrain as Bone Meringue doesn't kill. My guess is that it would have if I had not been affected by his Intimidate. Then another unexpected play. He withdraws to switch to the member I feared the most, Rotom. Rotom has Elevate, so it cannot be hit by ground attacks, as well as it has the Ghost typing. At this point, I'm rethinking my best route to go. I decided Nidoqueen could take some hits, but unfortunately I get hit with Confuse Ray and hit myself the following turn. And his Ominous Wind is a crit. Perfect. I finally hit a Poison Jab, just not to get the poison. I switch to Marshtomp as Quick Claw activates, hitting a very good Aqua Tail. I then get confused, of course, and Watson heals up Rotom as we fight through confusion to hit a half-health Aqua Tail. Ominous Wind hits up, and we hit ourselves in confusion to land us at 6 health. Its Rotom has become quickly an issue. I switched to Intimidate Staravia to not take an Ominous Wind. Of course, knowing it had Volt Switch, I took the death. Knowing it was going into Magneton gave me a huge advantage. I found my options over and decided it was Marowak's turn again. It misses a Supersonic as I leer it, and a Double Kick is able to take it to the yellow. It uses Electric Terrain on me. Yellow Health Manectric is back, and I Bone Meringue finishes it. With 2 Pokemon left, this was looking promising. Unfortunately, the one to come out was Rotom. I continue to think about who is going to do the best against it. It's gotta be Pikachu, or at least that's what I told myself. I hit myself in confusion as it activates my ability, a Lightning Rod, boosting my special attack. A Disarming Voice is just enough to get it to 1 more attack, or so I thought. It lives on red, and then Super Potions, and then I hit myself. So I switched to Rosalia, who I did not train up, thinking I wouldn't need it for this battle. I switched to Marshtomp, predicting a Confuse Ray. Then switch into Nidoqueen, who takes another predicted Confuse Ray. I switch to Pikachu, then who takes another Confuse Ray. This is when I realized he was out of Ominous Winds. I decide I gotta risk it if I want to win, so I go for a Nasty Plot and fight through the confusion to land it. It then hits me with Thunder Wave, activating my ability. I was now at +3 special attack. I hit myself in confusion, but it went with Thunder Wave again, +4 special attack. I thought through confusion to release a powerful Disarming Voice as it boosts my special attack to +5. I snapped out of confusion to take on my greatest enemy yet. Lastly, the Electrode is back, but I'm ready to earn this badge. A Disarming Voice does an embarrassing amount of damage. Marowak's gotta finish the job. Bone Meringue takes out the Electrode for the 3rd badge. Reflecting on that battle, I definitely could have played better, but luckily I caught that there were no more Ominous Wind PP left. After that, I was able to catch 5 new encounters, most notably a Bagon. Going into the upcoming double battle, I fully evolved all my Pokemon. Starting the battle, I led with Roserade to set up Toxic Spikes on my opponents. May and I were able to take out 1 Pokemon before I needed to switch out to Marowak. May's Swalo Brave Bird was really putting in the work. I leered my opponents then to lower their defense. May then quickly loses her Pikachu to the power of Numel. Melee's Pokemon Grovyle is out, but obviously the AI of the computers decides to take out all her Pokemon out first to make it a 2-on-1 situation. I decided it was time to swap, so I go to Swampert as Grovyle faints. I take the Weezing out easy peasy with Muddy Water. Darmanitan is out, but luckily the combination between Muddy Water and Poison finishes it. I switch to Nidoqueen to take some digs from the Onix, and I finally kill it with a bulldoze after it gets me in the red. Both the team leaders are being sassy as I just tried to survive with my harmed Pokemon. Up next, another battle, but this one goes more smoother. Tabitha starts with my Tiana, who I switch into Marowak. I hit it with Bone Meringue and then hope its bite was a high roll, but instead of it staying in, it switched into a Weezing. I go to Raichu and set up Nasty Plot, surviving its attack on red HP. I hit it with a Thunderbolt to finish it. Tabitha Darmanitan is quite scary. I go for Thunderbolt, which somehow one-shots it. I couldn't believe it. I used Thunderbolt to finish my Deanna as well. The only Pokemon left now was Snorlax. So I switched to Nidoqueen, who hits it for some attacks as it survives on red HP. I get paralyzed from a body slam, so I switch to Barbicle to finish up what Nidoqueen couldn't. Barbicle slowly kills it with poison and clamp damage. Finally, poison does the job to finish the fight. Now we've got to level up Magma Boss Maxie. He leads Golbat as I lead Roserade. The reason I led Roserade is so I could set up Toxic Spikes, which should help me throughout the battle. As I switch to Barbicle, who kills it with 2 Rock Slides. Lampet is out next, so I decide to switch in order to preserve Barbicle. Swampert should be the perfect option to kill Lampet, or so I thought, as a 4 times effective grass move almost kills Swampert. I switch to Raichu, who sets up some nasty plots and kills it with a Thunderbolt. The tank Camerupt is out now, and I don't know why I didn't switch. I lost to Raichu due to me just being an idiot. My bad, guys, my bad. Next, I stupidly switch into Roserade. I hit a Venoshock with which has 130 base power due to the poison spikes. Somehow I survive in the red with just 6 health. Insane. At this point, I didn't think I needed Roserade, so I decided to sack it in order for the rest of my Pokemon to survive. Marowak is my next best option, so I Bone Meringue it to finish the Camerupt. Houndoom is out, and it goes down to a Bone Meringue plus poison damage. Poison Spikes is really coming in clutch. Pupitar is out, so I send Nidoqueen, but it goes for Dig. I absorb the damage and hit it for some good damage as well. But I gotta switch out to save Nidoqueen. She's been too strong for me to let go. Marowak comes back and goes down to a Bone Meringue. Hopefully, Maxie won't be so difficult in our rematch down the line. Now it's time to battle the 4th gym. This attempt has gotten pretty far and I'm pretty proud of it. Anyways, the plan for this battle is to utilize some of the encounters I haven't used in a while. I trained up the Litwick I got to a Chandelure as well as brought back Starmie. Now I have a team that is either effective or super effective against all her Pokemon. Flannery leads with a Drought Ninetales. I lead Marowak, who takes it out with a crit Bone Meringue. Marowak is very underestimated. Houndoom is out and hits a Solar Beam, killing me due to Ninetales' Drought. Another team member down. It's a shame. I send out Nidoqueen, who took it out with a Bulldoze. Her Torkoal is out and I start to worry. Her Torkoal is quite literally built like a tank. I switch to Swampert and Muddy Water is only doing a third. Amazingly, Swampert hits a crit to take it out. RNG is on our side. Macargo comes out but misses its attack, so I'm able to take Macargo down pretty easily. Finally, the sun dies down, so my water moves should be back to full power. Camerupt is out, so my fully powered water move takes it down with one Muddy Water. Next, Delphox, a Fire Psychic type Pokemon, so I decide to switch to a Pokemon who's 4 times stronger than it, Barbicle. Barbicle goes for a Rock Slide to take it to the red, but now I am in range to die from another hit. Luckily, I knew Flannery was going to heal, so I go for a Clamp, which hits a crit. I sack Barbicle for a clean switch to Starmie, who finishes the Delphox with a Power Gem. MVP of the battle has got to be Swampert. He is definitely doing his part. After the battle, we are able to get 2 new encounters, a Sandile and an Anorith. There's not much to do between gyms, except level my Pokemon up to the level cap, rearrange the team, and prepare for my 5th gym battle against my own father. Switching the team up, I had Krokorok, Shelgon, and Meowstic. And the plan for this battle is real simple. Don't lose the run. Norman starts off with an Ambipom who fakes me out. I set up a Reflect to raise my team's defense, and then I go for Psychic. Chandelier finishes it without much trouble due to its ghost typing. Unfortunately, next out is his Ace Slacking. I decided my best move to make was to burn it to take casual damage. After the burn, I had to really decide my next move. Chandelier is too powerful to sack, so I gotta switch. Swampert can do it, I think. Swampert takes an easy Rock Slide and then goes for Hammer Arm to take it to red health. I know he is going to heal, so I go for an effective Earthquake, which drops it to stay in green health, but another Hammer Arm and burn damage does the trick. Now I've got an issue, Sawsbuck. So Chandelier is back out, who takes some damage, dropping it to the red as a Flamethrower takes it out. Next, an Intimidate Staraptor comes out, so I switch to Starmie, thinking I would just kill it for a free switch. Fortunately, it survived, so I go for a Power Gem to bring it to yellow health, and it goes for a Brave Bird, so I'm able to land another one to finish the job. Starmie really surprised me. I honestly thought it was going to die. Another bulky Pokemon arrives, Bouffalant. Now it's time to kill Starmie for sure, so I Psychic, hoping for a good chunk of damage, and we got a crit. But then died, but that's alright, because I think now we can finish the battle strong. I send in Shelgon, who does a good chunk with Dragon Claw, but its attack had recoil, and the Bouffalant ended up finishing itself. Last Pokemon in X-Blap. I need to switch, so I go to Krokorok, who does a good chunk and then dies. Yeah, definitely not my best play. For a clean switch to Swampert, who kills it with a Hammer Arm. Definitely the toughest battle I've had yet, and we are just about over halfway done with gym leaders. I'm not sure what to expect from the Elite Four members. Now, I would like to take a little time to talk about one of my favorite sections of the remakes, getting Latios or Latias. This section is just fun, mid-game side quest, which allows you to do one of the coolest things in a Pokemon game, which is fly around the map. I remember spending hours just flying around on the Eon Flute, searching for the legendary Mirage Islands. The battle for Latios was definitely a little harder, but no challenge with us fighting with Steven by our side. This is also the point where we get our Mega Bracelet. Mega Evolutions just take the challenge of this game to the next level. Anyways, back to the Nuzlocke. We were able to get 2 more encounters before the next gym, in a Mulga and a Sliggoo. Of course, our work is never over, so we have another admin fight. Tabitha leads with Mightyena as Chandelier makes quick work of it. Next up, Gigalith goes down to some Surfs, and Darmanitan goes down quickly as well. Camerupt is able to be taken out by our newest member, Armaldo. This fight seemed to be way easier than last time. Weezing goes down to a Shadow Ball and burn damage. Lastly, Snorlax is burned, but Nidoqueen goes for some power-up punches, but I'm too low now, so I switch to another member, Salamence, who is able to successfully take Tabitha down. Of course, another tough battle. We are rematched with May. May leads with her Swellow, who goes down to 1 discharge. Next out, a Wailord, who also goes down to a couple discharges. I decided to Volt Switch when Rapidash comes out for my Nidoqueen, but sadly I fall asleep and reach red health, but by the time I wake up, I was able to take out the Rapidash. Raichu is next, so an Earthquake one-hit KOs it. Now it's time. Starter versus starter. Of course I have the disadvantage, so I switch to Emolga for some super effective air slashes. Unfortunately, I fall asleep, so I switch. Armaldo is strong enough to take out the Sceptile, finishing the battle without any deaths, luckily. Before the 6th gym, I am able to get one more encounter, a Rufflet. Going into the 6th gym, I am mentally not prepared. This is the farthest attempt I've had, so I didn't know much of what was to come. She sent her to Skarmory, so I decide Chandelier is the best fit. After some flamethrowers, it goes down just to switch to Gyarados. I switch an Emolga, who hits it with a Volt Switch. I go to Salamence, who has Moxie amazingly, so I actually begin to just completely clean her team. That is until Altaria, who Mega Evolves. Oh, alright, that's fine. I go to Nidoqueen, who dies after all the work she put in. She lost to the 6th gym. What a tragedy. It was a shame. But now it was time for some avenging. I send in my own Mega Evolvable Pokemon, my starter Swampert, who kills it with a Sludge Wave. Just living on red, my Pokemon team survives the battle with the worst casualty yet. After some planning and 2 new encounters, I start planning for the next big fight, another May rematch. Alright, this is fine, no biggie, I just did this, I should have no trouble. She sends in Swellow, but just like last time, her first 2 Pokemon go down easy. My life was never easy. I don't like that song. But I am actually able to kill her Rapidash as well with a Volt Switch. Now it's Mega Swampert's time to shine. I take down her Raichu easily, bringing back PTSD of my own going down. May now has a Sylveon who goes down to some Sludge Waves. Finally, it's time for her to Mega Evolve. I switch to Chandelier, who takes to half health with a Flamethrower and then finishes it with another one. Definitely a little easier than last May battle. Now it is time to get back into the lore of the games. Maxie takes the Power Orb and then runs away, leaving me with another admin fight. My Salamence has insane attack stats, so her Rapidash goes down to a couple Dragon Claws, giving me a Moxie boost. I switch to Swampert, who Mega Evolves and takes down Rhyperior in 2 attacks. Her Charizard goes down with 1 Surf, but now I am on low health, so I switch out. Pyroar is out, so I do some switching until I find a Pokemon who could take it down easily. Finally, Goodra took it down with a Muddy Water, finishing the fight. The Elders want me to take the other orb, so I do. They really trust a 10-year-old with what might possibly be one of the strongest items in the Pokemon universe. Anyways, now we go to the port in Slateport, and there's a little interview session going on. But of course, Team Magma is trying to steal a submarine. The admin grunts are no use for Salamance's power. The first one goes down quick, and the second one goes down to Mega Swampert. Mega Swampert's moveset is so broad, it's very good for most Pokemon it's up against. Next up is Admin Fight with Courtney. Mega Swampert goes crazy as it takes down Rapidash in 1 shot, her Rhyperior in 1 hit, and then Camerupt has Focus Sash, so 2 hits to kill it. Pyroar goes down in 1 hit, leaving a Nidoking who goes down in 1 hit as well. And lastly, now I'm on low health, so I send in Salamence, who takes down the Mega Charizard Y and 2 Dragon Claws. Now that we beat Courtney, we can finally move into the 7th gym. The 7th gym is special. It's the first double battle, and double battles can pull off unheard of strategies, which can quickly wipe a run. Without further ado, let's hop into it. I decided my best bet is to go for my pseudo legendaries. The twins led off with Solrock and Lunatone. I hit a Muddy Water and Crunch, which takes out the Solrock. Slow King is out now, but a combination of Power Whip and Crunch sends them both to yellow. The following turn, the Slow King falls. I go for a Muddy Water, which halved the health of the opponents, but then took out my Goodra. Bro. From here I decide to switch in Emolga, who takes out the Gallade, and the following turn, the Salamence roosts, heals it up. Bronzong misses its hypnosis and Salamence wipes the twins' Pokemon. Finally, Gardevoir is out, but it Mega Evolves. A 2 HP Emolga is able to do the job and get us the 7th gym badge. Now going back to the story of the game, we have to solve the world's problems. Steven alerts us that a 10-year-old is the only hope for this world. He gives us dive so we can drown ourselves in a game that has too much water. After we fight a very crazy Maxie, we hit his Golbat with a lightning bolt. Swampert comes out to deal with the Tyranitar. Mega Swampert has no trouble with Houndoom, but then I switch out to Emolga to hit a Volt Switch. Jellicent comes out just to die, but it was deserved. I don't like Jellicent. Mega Swampert comes back to damage the Claydol. Armaldo then finishes the job with an Aqua Tail. Camerupt Mega Evolves, but then dies in one shot to Surf. Too easy. Nice try, Maxie. Back to the story. Groudon is done being sleepy and wakes up. Groudon then goes for a walk as he walks on the ocean. What a silly fella. Then the sun just expands 1,000 times over and the Hoenn region is super sunny. We meet a fella named Wallace as he lets us in his secret basement. We also get a diver suit, but for the heat. Fun. Keep in mind, we are just 10 years old. The fate of the world is in our hands. Steven is 1,000 times more qualified, but I guess we'll do it. On the way, we catch a Mawile, who at first was just another odd encounter, but until I remember, it Mega Evolves. Mawile is the perfect encounter as we make our way through the weird cave. The ground starts shaking, and then we surf on Groudon. He is now our buddy until a second later he turns into a beast. He now has RGB lights on as Mega Swampert kills it with an earthquake. Not so strong for a giant land lizard god, I guess. Everyone congratulates us. The team leaders tell us sorry and we accept it. It's not like they just tried to almost end the world or something. Preparing for our final gym, I had to really think about it because I did not want to lose the run. I also caught a Magneton as another notable encounter. From there, I started strategizing for the final battle. Whilst this team is considered so good for its strong, fast water types, I decided I'd go with a kind of scuff strategy. I'm going to see if I can pull off 6 double teams. I stunned the Politoed, but he was able to get a Hypnosis on me. I continued to double team till I was all set up. Next, I started Giga Draining his team one by one. Frustratingly, we got frozen and then unfroze shortly, but his Kingdra went down to a bunch of Giga Drains. His Starmie went down quick as well. Now his Ace Melodic is out and I ran out of PP for Giga Drain. Luckily, our Sludge Bomb poisoned Melodic, taking it out eventually. Now it was Mega Swampert time. I sent in my own Mega Swampert to really do the damage. 2 Earthquakes did the job, and now I have finally got all 8 gym badges. Of course, our job's never over, and it's time to prepare for the Elite Four. But before that, we need to battle Wally for the final time. Wally begins with Rose Raid as Salamence makes quick work of it. Garchomp comes out next, just to be swept. I switch Magnezone into battle to fight a Azumarill. Wasn't the best choice, so I go for Mega Swampert. Mega Swampert takes out the Talonflame with a Surf quickly. Next is his Magnezone, so I switch to Chandelier to hit it with a Flamethrower. He double activates Sturdy, but a third Flamethrower does the job. Finally, his Mega Gallade kills my Amalga. It leaves me in distraught. Amalga meant so much to me. I'd never considered using an Amalga, but now that I had, it's crazy good. Its speed and special attack is just too great. But now it's time for me to prepare for the Elite Four. For my team, I decided on Swampert, Chandelier, Magnezone, Mawile, Salamence, and Vileplume. Definitely a mixed bag. Sydney uses Dark types. He starts with Weavile as I use Flash Cannon from Magnezone to one-shot it. Next I switch to Chandelier to KO Scrafty. Greninja puts a block in the road, but a couple Earthquakes takes it to low health. Finally I switch to Vileplume to finish Greninja on just 4 HP. Tyranitar is our biggest issue for this battle. I decide to go to Chandelier to hit it with a weak Flamethrower that burned it, but it brutally hurt me, leaving me on red. I swap to Mawile to Mega Evolve with a Play Rough. Bisharp is up next, holds on at 1 HP, but gets me low. I swap to Salamence to finish it, giving me the Moxie boost. Lastly, Absol's out. It Mega Evolves, but a crit Dragon Claw takes it out in one hit. Insane luck on our side for that battle. Next up, Phoebe. Salamence is blessed with Crunch and is able to take out Miss Magius in 3 hits, then gets Moxie Boost to take out Dusknoir, gets Moxie, Gourgeist, gets Moxie, Gengar gets Moxie, Chandelier gets Moxie, and then Mega Sableye comes out to die to another Crunch. That was the easiest battle yet. I don't think I've had a battle that we just completely cleaned up. Next up, we won't really have Salamence to depend on so much. A Flash Cannon takes out Glacia's Auroras in 1 hit. Mamoswine comes out next, so I swap to Salamence, who then comes into a Frostlass, so I switch out again to Magnezone. Magnezone kills Frostlass, but then I switch back to Salamence, but Flamethrower from Salamence almost takes out the Jinx he swapped into. Finally, I take it down, and he goes into Walrein. I switch to Mawile into battle, Mega Evolve it, and hit Walrein with a Brick Break. One more is able to take it out. Mamoswine is back, so I bring in Salamence just for him to swap to Glalie. He Mega Evolves, but a Flamethrower is able to take it out. I then swap to Swampert, taking a crit Icicle Crash. I'm able to bring Mamoswine low before I have to swap to Mawile, who also takes a crit. Luckily, I can take out the Mamoswine to beat the 3rd Elite Four member. Similarly to our second Elite Four battle, Drake, the Dragon-type user, versus our Salamence. Drake leads off with Hydreigon, which Salamence destroys, gets the Moxie boost again. Next Kingdra, which goes down easy, Moxie. Then Dragalge, Moxie. Then Flygon, Moxie again. And then Haxorus, and Moxie again. Finally, my +4 attack Salamence kills his Mega Salamence. Mine has no issues taking his out. Now it's time for the champion, my Salamence versus his Skarmory. I go for the Flamethrower to take it out. Then his Aggron takes out my Salamence, but his Aggron is no match for my Chandelier. He sends out Claydol, which both Pokemon go back and forth, but sadly Chandelier fell first. Vileplume then takes out the Claydol and then dies to an Aerodactyl, who dies to a Thunderbolt, holding on at 1 HP. Diancie then died to a Flash Cannon. Magnezone died to Mega Metagross, then Mawile fell victim. So now it was a 1-on-1 Mega versus Mega. And somehow my Swampert came back victoriously. I won. I won my first ever hardcore Nuzlocke ROM hack. I go into the champion hall with my team members being congratulated. What a victorious moment. As the credits roll, I just want to give my huge thanks to you viewers for making it to this point in the video. I'm very grateful for the ability to make videos, and just one view on my videos always makes me strive for better content. Later this month,